Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 56 and today I am just ridiculously excited to record today's episode of Hermitcraft, if not a little bit toasty. Once again, it is absolutely boiling in the UK right now. It is currently 33.5 degrees in my office, which is suitably toasty, I guess you could say, but I am stupidly excited for today's episode because, well, I've got a bunch of awesome plans as per usual. We're going to be doing a bunch of redstone stuff and hopefully getting a ton of resources. But as you can see from my inventory, I have got myself 30 diamonds. Yeah, 30 diamonds. That is no small quantity, and that is because after the end of the previous episode of Hermitcraft, you know, when we were doing all of the emerald trading and everything like that, Exumavoid popped by and asked me if I had any Punch 2 books. Now I quickly looked through all of my villagers and I found this guy right here. If I can actually click on him. No, apparently not. As I was saying, I found this guy right here with his Punch 1 book for 5 emeralds and a book. Now that's perfect because of course I can combine all of the Punch 1 books to get Punch 2, and Exumavoid wanted 15 Punch 2 books, so I gave him a quote of 2 diamonds for every Punch 2 book, and would you look at that, he actually decided to go through with it. So I have now got myself half a stack of diamonds for what was essentially about 15 minutes worth of work. Now that, to me, sounds absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to quickly pop back over to the RV, I'm going to chuck these items into all my chests, and then we'll crack on with today's project. I think this might be the first time in all of Hermitcraft history where I've had over 4 stacks of diamonds at once. I don't know what to do with myself. I mean, seriously, what am I going to spend them on? I have no clue. But anyway, aside from my crazy diamond supplies, what are we actually going to be doing in today's episode? Well, as you can see, I'm currently in some form of creative world. This is not my own creative world. This is actually a melon and pumpkin farm testing area. Now I know what you're thinking, you already have a melon and pumpkin farm, why are you looking at these things? It's simply because I want more melons and pumpkins. As you guys know, I've recently got a ridiculously good farmer with an 8 pumpkin trade, which is insane. That's the lowest you can possibly get, and that means that I need as many melons and as many pumpkins as I possibly can get. So I just want them all flowing into my inventory so we can convert them all into emeralds. Now I am going to be keeping my current melon and pumpkin farms, but I'm also going to be adding this thing here into the mix. Now this thing is completely ridiculous. It was shown to me by Iskal, it is designed by Ilmango, and it is it's just insane. It's completely mad. It's the most efficient farm you can possibly get for these sorts of things due to the way that it's laid out, due to the way that it's designed, due to the way that the water is in. It's just very, very intelligent. It's far smarter than anything I could possibly create, and that's actually proven by the results. That's my farm over there, and this thing completely destroys it. So yes, this is what I'm going to be building in the industrial district. I'm going to be running it alongside my current melon and pumpkin farms to get as many of them as I possibly can. I'm very excited for this one, so let's crack on. So as always at the start of these episodes, we have got a rather large area to clear out. Just like this one, this farm is really quite big. It's about 25 by 25 blocks in size, and we've got to go around about 10 blocks down to fit everything in, and then also place all of the glass on top. Now thankfully I do have my haste 2 beacon over here, and of course I've got efficiency 5 on all of my tools, so we should be able to make relatively short work of the whole situation, but I'll try my best to keep you updated. Progress updates, I have probably made more progress on my sweat patches than I have on this hole. And this hole's pretty big, so that should give you a pretty good idea of just how hot it is in my room. I apologise to anyone who's disgusted by that statement. With a pickaxe that is almost completely destroyed, I think I have cleared out every single block in this area right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly relog and see just how many ghost blocks are left over. That's not too bad. We've got one up there, which I've I've never done that before. Huh. So aside from me half mining blocks and things like that, and the zombie that's just on his way to attack me, this is the entire area that we now have to build this melon and pumpkin farm. Now I know all of these blocks on the floor despawning really does stress all you guys out, but I can promise you I have about 8 double chests of stone back in my base, so I don't really need to worry about that sort of thing. But yeah, this place is pretty huge. Now on the bottom layer there is going to be the minecart rails, and of course it is going to be the melons and pumpkins, then there's going to be the pistons, then all of the redstone. It's like a layer cake of various different redstone components and bits and pieces, which is something I quite like in redstone contraptions. So I guess the first thing we're going to have to do is gather up all of the minecart rails, all of the powered rails, and all of the redstone so we can power those things, and then that should be the first stage done. I made a mistake! I pressed the shift click button and I just did it without thinking, and now, well, I think we have enough rails forever from this point forth. Spoon count number 1. So I've just had a bunch of fairly rubbish stuff happen to me. Basically what happened is I discovered that the hole that I'd created was actually 5 blocks too skinny. I have no idea how I managed to do that. And without thinking, I decided, hey, I'm going to start mining it out, completely forgetting that my pickaxe was on the way out. And despite the fact that it had mending, it broke. Now, I thought pickaxes with mending couldn't actually break. I'm very stupid, clearly, because yeah, it broke. I lost my efficiency 5, unbreaking 3, silk touch, mending, pickaxe, which means that I am now back over here doing a bit of an enchanting session. I've got 4 pickaxes on me. I've got 25 levels. We're going to make short work of this one, and hopefully we can get another beast of an efficiency 5 pickaxe very, very shortly indeed. Bummer. Final enchantment for today, it says efficiency 4, so let's give it a go. That's the 4th one that I've got exactly like that. I don't even know what to say. They're all terrible, look. Apart from that one, but I had that one already, and I've done some combining to get that one. That is ridiculous. Oh, that's so frustrating. I came over here with such high hopes as well. Anyway, back over to the area. Let's continue mining out and start placing in the minecart rails. So a bunch of things have happened since the previous clip. First off, my brain has decided to stop working somewhat. I think it might be the heat in my room, but for some reason, some strange words are coming out of my mouth at this point in time, so I do apologise for that. But most importantly, the hole has now got bigger. That is now 5 blocks wider. We have got all of the blocks on the floor. We have also got all of the minecart rails on the floor. And I've decided to go for a slightly different design to that by Ilmango. Now, for those of you who are really observant, you may notice that on Ilmango's design, the minecart travels around in a sort of circuit. So it sort of makes its way around like this, and then it goes around, and it gradually picks up all of the items. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be launching all of our minecarts at once. So there is going to be a bunch of hopper minecarts all along this side right here, and when the redstone line triggers, all of those are going to travel off, and they're all going to pick up the items all at the same time. Then they're going to bounce back and drop all of those items off into the hoppers. So we're going to get loads of melons and pumpkins all at once, which could be good. It could also be quite bad for our little item elevator over here. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But for now, progress is pretty good. There's a few things still left to do. For example, gathering up the hoppers and all of the redstone bits and pieces for the timing, and also a towel for my face. But most importantly, this farm is getting done. Unfortunately, I seem to be spending a lot of time in between clips here without having anything particularly interesting to show you. We've been recording for around about 3 hours now, and this is the current state of the farm. As you can see, we've got the bottom layer, we've got all of our dirt in place with our areas for the water. I'm actually going to have to drop these things down a little bit and place in some of these things, the trapdoors, and I have no idea how I'm actually going to do that. I hadn't actually thought of this. And are they going to have to be powered? Otherwise, is the minecart going to get stuck? I really don't know. I actually hadn't thought of that, and that could really throw a spanner in the works. So I'm going to ignore that for the next couple seconds, because as you can see, yeah, we've got all the dirt, we've got all the powered rails here, we've got all of the hoppers. I've just popped up and crafted those. Now it's time to run the redstone across like this. This is going to hook into our monostable circuit that is going to be powered by our hopper timer, which will then harvest the farm and also send off all of the minecarts. Now it's time to work out if this design is completely broken. Fingers crossed it's not. Oh, why do I not test these things, guys? Oh, why do I not test these things? Why did I think that would be enough power to get the minecarts all the way across? It's too hot. It's too hot for this. I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. Good news is, this thing now works. Bad news is, I wasted a bunch of time. It turns out, hopper minecarts actually move faster than regular minecarts, which means that these things right here, these powered rails, totally unnecessary. I don't need them at all. Which, yeah, I don't know if I should feel happy about that or not, but I'm just happy that this thing is now working. We're back on track. Let's start tilling this soil. Now that all of our farmland is completely tilled and also fully hydrated, what we're going to do is we're sort of going to skip a couple layers, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks above the farm, and we're going to start chucking in the half slabs that are going to be powering all of our pistons. Now, the way that we do this is it's a sort of grid formation that is going to be powering all the pistons up at the top that are of course going to extend, which are going to crush our melons and pumpkins, and then what happens is our hopper minecarts travel underneath and they pick up all the items. If you were wondering how the farm worked, then of course that is how it works in its most basic format. However, I will put a link to the tutorial down in the description so that you can check it out. But anyway, I am going to make my way across the farm incredibly slowly right here, chucking in all of the slabs, and eventually we will cover the entire thing. So I just thought while I finish this thing up, I would have a really quick chat to you about my Hermitcraft episodes, because there's two things I want to mention here. Number one, I've been trying my best to put more effort into the episodes, and over the past sort of 10 or so episodes, I've been making quite a bit of progress, I would say, and this has been pointed out quite a bit down in the comment section. I can also see that you guys are enjoying them a lot more by the views and the likes and the comments and everything like that. A lot of you guys are really enjoying them, and I just want to say a huge thank you for the amount of positive support I've been receiving on my channel recently. It's absolutely insane, and I have to say, likes and comments, positive comments, are definitely the bread and butter of YouTube. They are what we look for as YouTube content creators. That's when I wake up in the morning, I read through the comments, and if they're positive, it really just does put like a really good spin on the day. So if you wouldn't mind heading down to the comment section if you enjoy these videos and let me know your thoughts, then that would be greatly appreciated. But another thing that I just quickly want to mention is that, as you can tell, I have been building quite a few farms recently. I mean, I would say the past maybe 10 or so episodes of Hermitcraft have been mostly based around farm building. We've had the pumpkin farm, we've had the automatic melon and pumpkin farm over there, we've had the potato and carrot farms, we've been having the sugarcane farms, just tons of farms all in the industrial district, and I'm not going to make any excuses for this. I love building farms. You guys know I love building farms, and I'm having a heck ton of fun doing it. But I think over the next couple episodes, we're probably going to change things up a little bit, because, you know, I want to change up my content a little bit, and I want to make sure that nobody's getting bored. But anyway, as you can see, all of our slabs are now in place. This is where our redstone is going to be going, and underneath these, our sticky pistons are going to be placed, and they're going to have the slabs on their faces. They're going to be crushing the melons and pumpkins. So we've got that to look forward to. By the look of things, some people have actually been playing this game. Let's see how many diamonds we have down here. We've got 22. Now, I believe there were 18 down at the bottom, so that's pretty good. That's not bad. We've made sort of like 6 diamonds in total. I can't complain about that, can I? We've hit a bit of a bump in the road. I don't actually have as much slime as I thought I did. There's no slime in the super chunk. As you can see, I've got under 2 stacks, and we need 160 sticky pistons for this thing, which is around about 3 stacks. So I don't really know what to do. However, I have got a little bit of hope here, and that is the fact that our sugarcane farm is built using slime blocks, and I know for a fact that there is a chest left over there from when I built that thing. So we're about to find out if there are in fact any slime blocks left over. Yes, I think that's just about enough. I just double fist pumped into the sky, because if we didn't have those, obviously we wouldn't be able to finish up this project, and I would have just cried myself into my soundproofing pillows. Alright, let's continue working, and I'm going to annoy you all by placing in that sandstone there. Oh, I can feel the fury right now. I feel like I'm finally making some proper progress on this farm now. I'm actually chucking in some redstone components, finally. After a bunch of preparation work, we are getting sticky pistons in. This is now beginning to look like a redstone contraption, which is good. It always feels better when that starts to happen, and we're absolutely burning through our sticky piston supplies right here. But as you can see, our checkboard pattern is coming along rather nicely, and then, as I've said many times, on their faces there's going to be the slabs, and then underneath these is where all of the things are going to be going. But I'm guessing I probably don't need a sticky piston there, because, well, I'm not going to be harvesting the water, am I? We're on the final row now, making our way across, and there we go. That is all of the pistons done, and that looks absolutely wonderful if you're asking me. Now let's see what's going on down here. It looks like we've got ourselves a zombie, which I'm probably going to kill, because of course we still have our villagers over there, and I'm not 100% certain on how secure that area is, and the last thing I want to happen is convert these guys into zombie villagers. Thankfully he is currently safe, but it could happen at any time. Anyway, we are now going to start work on chucking in the slabs and planting all of the melons and pumpkins. Now, I'm probably going to do this at the same time, simply because if I don't do that, I'm going to have real trouble actually accessing the farm, because of course I can't walk underneath these. Now, the way that this works, I've explained this I think a couple times in today's episode, but this line has to be pumpkins, and then this line here is going to be melons, but they definitely don't want to be going in those locations, because those are the harvesting locations. So that's going to be pumpkin, that's going to be melon, that's going to be melon, and then that's going to be pumpkin. It basically works like that. So we're going to have rows of different fruits. I don't know if they're fruits. Are they fruits? Are melons and pumpkins fruits? I know melons are fruit. What's a pumpkin? Let me know down in the comment section. And there we go. this is our checkerboard of stone slabs. I'm just trying to make sure that there are no missing ones, because of course, if there are missing ones, well, first off, our farm is going to be slightly worse, but number two, it will be super annoying because it will be very difficult to get inside there to actually place down that stone slab, and we'll have to dismantle a bunch of dirt, and then obviously our order will be messed up, so I don't really fancy doing that. But by the look of things, I've actually managed to not be a spoon for once, and I've managed to place in all of them perfectly. I'm not seeing any missing ones, which is brilliant. Excellent. Okay, so it looks like all of our sticky pistons are in, all of our stone slabs are in, and all of our pumpkins and melons are in. This thing is actually almost ready to go. We just have to set up the redstone, hook up the redstone to the pistons, and that will be everything done. Feel free to call me melodramatic here, but I have got 33.5 degrees of stagnant heat in my room that's incredibly humid, and I feel like I'm going to die. Oh, I feel like I'm going to die, and I know there are going to be people commenting down in the comment section saying, well, you should try living on the sun. It's like 5 million degrees there. But I'm a Briton. I'm not used to this heat. Everything is now fully lit up, so I do believe it is time to start chucking in all of the redstone. And funnily enough, the circuitry is it's ridiculously simple, to be honest with you. It's basically spam redstone on every available surface, and you'll probably do a good job. That's essentially how it's going right here. So I've just got to place redstone on top of all these blocks. However, having said that, I do believe there are repeaters in this section right here, and I think they have to be done in a certain way. So I think there has to go a repeater right here, and it has to be set to 4 ticks, and then this has to be redstone dust right here, which means that this has to be a block. So we need redstone dust there, and then a repeater set to 4 ticks, then redstone dust there, then a repeater set to 4 ticks. Okay, well that's pretty easy as well. I mean, I think I can handle that. If you want a rough idea of how long I've spent on the Hermitcraft server over the past couple of days, I cleared out my villager breeder the other day. This is what it looks like now. It's like Glastonbury or Woodstock down there. All of the pistons are linked up with my crisscross redstone, so now it's time for the finishing touch, which is all of the glass going around the outside. That will stop any of the melons and pumpkins from flying out and traveling off into the distance, because we definitely don't want that to happen. And that will be this farm pretty much fully completed. The only thing we have to do then is the hopper timer, which is going to be controlling when it harvests, and that's very, very simple. So for the timing, I have to place in 48 items into our hopper timer, and that should now activate the entire thing. So let's place in some redstone dust up at the top. That will link up all of the redstone, and I have no idea if I need a certain number of ticks on this. No, it doesn't look like I do. So this thing should be ready to harvest any second now. There it was! And let's see how fast things regrow. And also, should I be worried that those guys didn't actually get broken? I can't tell if they regrew so fast that I couldn't actually see it happen, or if this isn't working correctly. I hope it's the first one. I sincerely do hope it's the first one, because otherwise I'm gonna have some serious problems in my hands. I don't even have a sword in my inventory. I wasn't expecting that at all. Right, let's get rid of these guys and see if this thing harvests again. It should happen any second now. There it is. I can't tell if that one's just regrowing really quickly. I'm gonna have to take a look up at the top. Found the culprit. There we go. Redstone right there. That should be everything sorted. Now this thing should be fully functional, and that pumpkin should be harvested with the rest of them. Now, there's one thing that you may notice. Our minecarts aren't actually moving at this point in time, and I don't actually have all of the hopper minecarts in place. That's something that we still need to do. I'm going to do the pickup system right now, and then I'm going to hook that up to the redstone, and I think that should be a really quite simple process of just running an output from this redstone torch right here into the system. In theory, that should actually work, and we should see that when this harvests, this hopper minecart should actually travel off. Am I going to wait for that to happen? I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I can't see it happening anytime soon because there aren't too many melons and pumpkins. These things are the biggest pains in the bottom to craft. As you can see, I'm doing some serious clicking action here. We have got 20 minecarts in my inventory. I am very, very scared of anything attacking me right now. But in theory, the surplus hoppers we're actually going to have, because we're going to have around about 40 left over, should be used to transport the items from this farm into the hoppers from our automatic carrot and potato farms, which will then transport them across into the melon and pumpkin farm hopper line, which will then transport them across into the item elevator and up into the item sorter. And of course, we don't actually need a separate item sorter for the melons and pumpkins because we already have melon and pumpkin farms, if that makes any sense. And with that, ladies and gents, everything is now done. We literally just missed a harvest, but you can see that all of my hopper minecars have travelled off and they have all returned, and they are dumping all of the items from this crazy, insane farm down into the hoppers. And one thing that I will just say is, apparently this hopper minecart is struggling a little bit. For some reason, it's not picking up all the items, which isn't brilliant. But I suppose we've only lost one row there. That's no big deal. But let's take a look down at the bottom and see how many items are flowing through this thing. We have got a lot of melons and a lot of pumpkins already. Oh, wow. This thing's quick. This thing's ridiculous. This thing's literally ridiculous. I don't even know what to say. I mean, this has been running for all of about 20 seconds. And we already have stacks of them. I'm going to need a bigger storage system. I am going to need a bigger storage system. This, coupled with my other one, that must be thousands upon thousands an hour. I mean, seriously, thousands. So our hoppers are now going to run down underneath our potato and carrot farm. They're going to make their way across this area right here. And I do believe it should be a relatively short journey. Yes, absolutely. It's only about 15 blocks in total, which is awesome because, of course, that saves on hoppers and also on lag as well, because I'm a little bit conscious of that. I feel a little bit bad to all the other hermits for building this ridiculous automated district. But there we go. These items should now be filling up through these hoppers, making their way through them, across there, and into our storage system all the way over there. It is a bit of a long-winded route, but you know what? Saves on hoppers, and that's fine by me. So I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. Good news is we've got loads of items. Bad news is they have backed up through the entire system and all the way through our drop elevators and all the way through all of the hoppers, going right the way to their respective farms. Yeah, there are tons of items that's stuck inside this system right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add like a rubbish bin at the end of this thing, so when it overflows, it will just chuck the items out. This is going to be temporary just for today's AFK session. So that is now set up. The hopper is running into it. This is going to start chucking out all of the items, and those will despawn after 5 minutes. They might cause a little bit of lag for a while, but we need to get rid of all of this stuff right here. In theory, all of the melons, the pumpkins, the carrots and potatoes will make their way into their chests. The sugarcane is the only thing that's going to get thrown away. So now what I've got to do is I've got to head down to the bottom right here, and I've got to make sure that this hopper clock actually stays powered permanently, because right now this thing is completely clogged up, and if I don't do that, it's going to remain completely clogged up. So I think the way that I'm going to do that is quite simply redstone there and just run it in just like that. That's perfect. Awesome. Okay, I think we're now good to go. I'm going to go AFK over the next couple hours or so, and we will see how many items we can get during that time. I'm very excited. So unfortunately, by the look of things, I actually got kicked from the Hermitcraft server. I'm just hoping that it wasn't really soon in my AFK session. So let's see, we are spawning inside the storage system. We're not dead, which is definitely a positive thing. And we're going to say hey to everyone, and then find out how many items we actually have. So by the look of things, we have got a lot of melons. Right, okay, we have filled the whole thing with melons. We have got a lot of pumpkins. Oh my word! Wow! That's after like maybe a couple hours. Obviously our sugarcane is going to be filled to the brim, our carrots is going to be filled to the brim, and our potatoes are filled to the brim as well. So we have just got... That's ridiculous. I can't believe how many pumpkins that is. Think how many emeralds that is. Divide that by 8. So that right there is 8 emeralds. Each one of these is 8 emeralds. Oh my word. We have got a lot of emeralds on the way right here. Oh my word. So that's a full stack of emeralds, that's a full stack of emeralds, And then we have that's a full stack of emeralds. That's a full stack of emeralds. We are going to be drowning in them. And then, of course, the same thing goes with the carrots, the potatoes, the sugarcane, not so much. But the melons as well. Oh, my word. We are going to be some seriously rich hermits. And for anyone that's wondering, this cape, no clue where it came from. Absolutely no idea where it came from, but I think it looks pretty cool. Feel like I'm in some form of gang or something like that. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Hermitcraft. If you did, please sure to hit that like button. If you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.